Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Mainstream Monday here on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. I'm here with
John Ward.
John Ward, and we're here to talk about Purge Election Year. For some reason, I keep wanting to call it Election Night, you know? But
I've done that many times. Yeah, I just or election day. I think is maybe what I've called it. Because you go and vote on election day.
yeah.
So, yeah, election year, but it doesn't take place over a year. It
Oh,
was
it
a,
def well, it doesn't take over a place for the year. It's supposed, I guess it's supposed to be the election year, but in this universe, the election day is in May. It's not even in November, which is a little weird. I don't know why they chose to do that, but I guess because if it's basically already a different universe, than our universe, because obviously this stuff hasn't happened in 2022 or, any of those things then. And by 2016, there wasn't, there already was going to be an election. So anyway, it was different. It's a different universe and different time. But it's written and directed by the same director, James DeMonico, and I. This is the first time I watched it, and I think so far out of the three, this one's my favorite. What about you?
Mm. Yeah, because it now has two different meanings for me. Like this whole series is going to have two different meanings because when I originally saw this, I was a Hillary voter, and now I'm not. And this whole thing was done because of one line that Hillary did while she was debating Trump in 2016, where they were walking around the stage, not just like standing, they actually could walk around. And at one point, she goes, "If I end up dead tomorrow, you'll know what happened,"
Hmm.
meaning that the Trump people were going to try to kill her. And she was saying that for a reason. But now it's interesting that I see this more on a conservative side instead of the left side.
Hmm. Um, I don't know. I have no I don't think I think that that line had to be after the movie came out because the movie came out in June of 2016. No, July of 2016. When did she say that line?
Well, then if it was after, then maybe she was mimicking the film because she knew that they were trying to kill the female, you know, uh, wannabe president,
Hmm.
So I could be getting that wrong. Maybe it was after, and then they heard about it, and then Hillary used it because of this film, or she said it and then they put it in the film. I'm not really, so I could be getting it wrong.
Okay.
I do know that there was an influence with Hillary in this. So I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't full on go like, against Trump itself himself because Trump, even though he was a um he's the conservative one. This guy was more like was a minister or whatever. And it was more religious. And Trump sells Bibles, but he was never a religious, person. I don't think he even just read the Bible. I think he just
Oh
sells.
no, it's all fake. It's
Yeah.
all that, that's why he
Wasn't he
couldn't.
a Democrat before he just,
Yeah.
he just knew like people would follow him if he were, on
Well,
the other side.
he gave money to Bill and Hillary. He
Yeah.
he he was a Democrat and he was pro-choice. And then I think they said, "Well, do you want to, run for president?" Could, being a, you'd have to be a conservative, and that all changed. So
Yeah.
I don't think Trump is anything. I don't think that he's religious. I don't think he's an atheist. I don't think he's Republican. I don't think he's Democrat. I think it's
He's
all
a
it's
businessman.
yeah, it's all an act. So it's you're right, he's never read the Bible, even though he holds them upside down in pictures. I mean, when the two religious guys were interviewing him during that election, and he could not give you one passage from like the Bible at
Mm,
all. He just kept going, "Oh, it's personal. It's personal." But it is if the movie and the election for that year, if they aren't connected, then it's very ironic that they came out the same year. So it's very, and you had because it's basically that the woman who's the Democrat, or I would probably say that she's more of a liberal, if she wins the election, she's going to end the purge
hmm
because she finds it disgusting. So the founding fathers say, okay, well, now we need to alter the purge to allow for people, that are in the government can be killed. And that is basically so they could have her killed without any consequences. And then the priest guy, who's the conservative guy, would win and get in there. And then they could
Or if
probably even
he's
make it
killed, he
worse.
becomes a martyr and
But
whatnot.
that's what she was saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't because the militia guys, the black guys that are like the Panthers and stuff are who's Bloody Stranger is in this again third time, and then um so they have to it's a you had sent me from as a message from Chat GPT what it talked about with this film. Can you read that for people?
Okay, I mean, I have to go to your thing with it because
Oh,
chat
I could read
doesn't.
it then.
Well, no, I'll read it.
Okay.
By not naming parties, the movie avoids alienating half the audience, keeps it satire instead of lecture, lets you project real-world politics onto it, which honestly makes it smarter writing. If they said Republicans did this, half the country turns the movie off. By keeping it fictional, it feels more like a 1984 dystopian style instead of Twitter discourse.
So and I said to you, I disagree with that because
Totally.
it's obvious that she's liberal, the priest guy is conservative, that the our future, female president is working with the I guess at the time it would probably be like the Black Lives Matter group. And they're so it's and if you look at the end of the movie, when they're in the church, when they're trying to rescue her, um, there's not one black person in the church that's in the crowd.
hmm
It's all white. I went back and watched it like three times to see if I could see anybody that was not white, and everybody in that church was white. So it's very much they may not say conservative, they may not say Democrat,
Well, I think that
but
was what it was trying to say.
yeah, but it is.
I
It's
mean, right.
very
I mean, it, I guess there's really no way to like argue it. No, because I mean, you see it. It's very obvious, that they went with which side is which. Um, but that's but they don't say the conservative incumbent or whatever is saying this or that, and they don't say the
maybe
Democratic one.
maybe that doesn't exist anymore with the new founding fathers. Maybe they eliminated those names.
Maybe. I mean, it's just called the NFFA, I guess, right? Or whatever is the big thing
Yeah.
there. And those are obviously very conservative. And they don't. they'll do anything to stop her from winning so that she could stop the purge. But like,
Well,
you
oh, go
know,
on.
I was just gonna say, like, if they had, if you, spoiler alert for people who haven't seen the movie, but if she had died at the end of it, somebody else would have just taken her place as it's not like they wouldn't have another liberal running, you know.
Well, she should, which is because you mentioned that this is kind of like an alternate reality, is there is no vice. Neither side had a vice president. So they're very close to election day, and it's just her and just the priest. So where's the vice president?
Where's the president now? Who's president? Was he like, did they talk about him at all? Like, or I'm guessing it's a him.
No.
I don't think so. But there had to be like a president, like when they have the new founding fathers, which I really like seeing because I'm one of those people that, that I think you kind of joke about me with it with like Star Wars. I like watching the debates and stuff, the Senate hearings or whatever in that thing and everything. So I really, really enjoyed the um the Senate hearing and I really liked hearing the Senate hearing or whatever the new founding fathers talking, you know.
Well, and it's you wanted to know more about, like why was this created? And they do talk about that. They talk
Yeah.
about that it's all about, well, and it gets out. And people are pissed off that the whole reason why this was done was to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's it. So it's and they advance this too. Like they use drones.
Mm-hmm. Which
They
I think you were talking about before, like why didn't they use drones before or something, if I'm correct?
I mean, because there aren't any. This is the first. So maybe it's just it, which I'm glad that they didn't because it advances things. It shows just another way of people tracking everybody down and or shooting them if you put, guns on a drone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and this seems to be it's because I don't think anybody in this purge, except for the founding fathers, care about the election.
Mm-hmm.
So it's they just want to make sure that it keeps going so then they can keep making money. So they got to get the priest in there, but that doesn't make any. I was trying to think, like, so she dies at some point, it would probably come out that she was murdered,
Mm-hmm.
like assassinated by the founding fathers.
Right.
So then what would be done? If she's saying if we kill him, he becomes a martyr, then if she dies, what does she become? Is she
Oh.
also a martyr?
Yeah, no, at least she doesn't think so because the whole point of her whole thing was that she was going to what is it? She was going to run this country the way that she was going to run this country. She was going to have um what is it? The founding fathers and everything. There's going to have the purge be gone, you know, and everything. So I think that was the thing. I think the purge was going to be gone, and if the other guy got killed, then the other side could say, "Oh my God, like you killed, he killed him on purge night. How dare, right?" And they would want to fight for like you set this up, you know, liberal woman, whatever, other side. You set this up so he could die, and now, and so if she had died, the other side would have been like, "We won." you know. We are now, you know what I mean? And the other side there wouldn't have been the other side would have been like, well, because a lot of them already were saying we're screwed that the founding fathers are always going to win, you know.
Yeah, we keep saying founding fathers, but it's actually new founding
New
fathers.
founding fathers.
Just yeah.
We have to be
So
more
it's
specific.
yeah.
Like,
Well, it's well, and also with the ending, remember they're on the news, they're talking about how the purge is kind of continuing.
mhm.
How it's just, that the news comes in that some police are being attacked and some, that the I'm get see this is why I wonder because with this film being connected to Hillary and Trump is she wins. And all of a sudden, the news is saying there was like some riots, there was some police being attacked, there's Jan 6. So it's like, are they
But
kind of,
they didn't know that. Like
but
that's
are,
Jan 6 wasn't even until 2021, you know. So they didn't know that that was going to be a thing. But that's I guess you're saying they predicted that sort of thing at the end, right?
yeah. Um, but it's interesting because it does kind of, yeah, I guess foresee of
Yeah.
something that's because if the first Purge is a prequel, and then the first season of the TV series takes place after election year, and then the second season
Wait. It takes place after election year? I thought she would have got rid of the purge. Is that I guess brought up?
let's see here. Uh, um, okay, Universal Pictures. Okay, when does let me see here. The so the Purge season one. Okay, let's see what it says here. Okay, so The Purge is blah 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 based on the franchise of the same name. First season, okay, blah 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 blah.
I read
Uh,
I read that set in 2027, the first season, focusing on the 10th annual Purge Night and its immediate, intense, and deadly effects on various characters. Season 2 takes place in 2036 to 37, exploring the year between two purges and how the event affects society rather than just the night of violence itself.
okay, so yeah, so I got here in the fictional timeline of the franchise. The first season takes place in 2027, and the second season between 2036
Yep, and
and
37.
2037. Thus, the series is set between the events of anarchy and election
Wait, how's that?
year.
Huh?
And that doesn't make much sense
Yeah.
because the second season is it definitely takes place before the first movie.
Well, it
Do you
doesn't.
do you do you want me to tell you why?
No, I want to tell you this though, because the years seem off. Because
So,
2020,
is there a timeline?
like the first Purge movie we watched took place in 2022. Anarchy took place in 23. This took place in 2040, you know? Election year took place in 2040. So does that mean that like, come on.
No, see, no, this doesn't. So, okay, so to watch the Purge franchise in chronological order, start with the first Purge and follow with the subsequent films and the TV series. So, chronological order of the franchise. The first Purge is okay, okay, so it also gives the dates of when the movies came out. So I don't care about that. Okay, the first Purge is set in 2016. The Purge is 2022. Anarchy is 2023. Election year is 2040.
Right.
Forever Purge is 2048. And then the TV series takes place between the events of the first two films and explores various characters. Takes place between. No, no, that doesn't. No, that doesn't make sense with the with the second season. Do you want me to just tell you why that doesn't make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Ethan Hawke is in it. He's playing the character from the first movie. Before the purge happens, he's calling people. Hey, is
Mm.
everything set up? Are you ready for the purge? Oh, yeah, man, you got a great deal. He is in his office talking to people. So this has to be before the first film since he dies in the purge. And I always took it that the season one took place, I guess it can take place after election year and Forever Purge, because that was going to be season three.
Okay. ChatGPT is giving me a completely different thing too. So maybe they're right. I don't know. It's saying the Purge election year's opening flashback was 2022, right? The
Right.
first Purge was 2017. That's what it's saying on here. Uh, then Purge season one was year 2027. The Purge year 2022 main story is The Purge is 2022. The Purge Anarchy is 2023. The Purge season two is 2028. The Purge election year? No, this is wrong. No, this is wrong. It's 2040. Oh my God. Ah, it's so
Okay, so
confusing.
so
Nobody's giving
screen
me a right day.
okay, Screen Rant okay says okay, so Purge first, then Anarchy, then election year, then no, that's not correct. No, that's how they came out. Wait, maybe it's further down. Um, maybe. Okay, here. The Purge movies in chronological order. So you would go f the first Purge, then the TV series. So the first Purge, then the first season of the show, then the second season of the show because Ethan Hawke is in it, then the Purge because he dies, then Anarchy, election year, and then Forever Purge. That makes more sense.
Mm. This is so confusing. Oh man. I just wish there were dates like everywhere, like throughout the whole series. Like they just say 2000, you know. I know 2022 and 23 for the first two movies and 2040 for this one because I saw 2040, but it did say 2022 and then 18 years later, right? It's 18 years later, yeah. Because that girl in the beginning of the movie, there's a bunch of people that are about to slaughter a family, you know, and they have her pick, the one girl, the woman pick. She picks, the mom picks her child, her daughter, you know, and it turns out to be the daughter that's the big hero girl, you know, that
Well, the one
everybody.
running for president.
No,
Wait,
no,
what?
no, 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 no. I thought it was supposed to be the badass chick.
The badass chick.
Hold on, let me see.
Who's the badass chick?
The
The at the beginning of election year, it's the woman who's I keep calling her the woman running for president. What is her actual name? This is kind of I don't like
yeah,
when I
maybe I
do
got it
that.
wrong. Maybe I thought it was the girl.
Um, Senator Charlene or Charlie Roan. So
Okay, you're right.
she's the one at the very beginning with her family, and the guy it has them all tied up and they're bloody. And he
Right.
goes, for my last trick, I'm going to let you, who I think is the senator, I mean
Yeah.
she's younger, but pick who dies. And the guy ended up killing everybody in the family except for her. Cut to 16 years later, whatever it is. Now she's in Congress. She's a liberal, Democrat, and she wants to, because of what happened to her family, abolish
Mm-hmm.
the purge. Um, Frank Grillo, who was in Anarchy trying to, seek revenge on the guy who killed his kid, is now her bodyguard. And so we know it's the same character. He does bring up his kid being killed. So it's like, okay, so now he is that kid. And then the Bloody Stranger, who's the homeless guy in the first movie, who has, I don't know, like a cameo in the second one, now is a full character in this one, and he is if I can quickly find it, um Joe Lucy, but the anti-Purge fire. Okay, for the Purge films, he Dante Bishop is his name. So we finally hear his actual name. In this one, he's part of a resistance group, which I keep comparing to like the Black Panthers. Um, and they team up with Grillo because
Mm-hmm.
um, they need to make sure that Charlie doesn't get killed. Uh, so then this preacher guy doesn't become president. I always get the white supremacist guy that the new founding fathers hire to kill Charlie, and even
Mm-hmm.
says white power on their back. The main guy with all the tattoos, for a while, I always got him confused with Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh.
I would see him pop up in trailers and go, "Oh shit, that's Anthony Michael Hall." And then
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch the movie and I'm like, "That's not Anthony Michael Hall." And
It's
and so, but he looks like him. Like they could be brothers or
yeah,
twins.
they could. And they he I like that guy. That's Terry Serpico. And he becomes the chief in Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Okay,
So, he was the chief. He was a good guy. Like he played a decent guy. He wasn't like an asshole or anything. But he did have to like yell and get mad at the Captain Benson or whatever. You know what I mean? But after a while, he left the show, and they have a new chief who this black woman who took over, and she's sort of pissing everybody off, you know, and everything, which sort of feels different than what they normally do, right? You thought that they would have, had it be this woman wouldn't piss people off because that doesn't, it sounds different, but she knows I'm loving it, but I love Terry Serpico in it. So when I saw him, he's completely different. He kind of reminded me of like Michael Rooker or something, with his head all bald and shit, and with things like Michael Rooker could have done that job too, or whatever,
sure, sure.
you know.
Well, there is a making of. It's not that long. It's fluff, but he seems like a really nice guy. They interview him, and he seems the exact opposite. They do talk to the director, who does talk about expanding the universe. God, maybe we should have watched this in chronological order.
Maybe it would have made more sense. I don't know. But so
Yeah,
I'm gonna read what Wiki says about the plot, and we'll go through it. And if there's things that we leave out, it leaves out, we'll, touch on that, because sometimes it leaves out crucial stuff that we remember.
sure.
but this is pretty much a just a small little. Well, it's not that small. It's actually pretty long. All right. So 18 year. Okay. So in 2022, a young Charlie Roan is forced to watch as her family is killed on Purge night. So that was the lady who 18 years later in 2040, Roan is a U.S. senator running for president and promising to end the Purge nights. Interesting that she's a senator. Remember, because his wasn't Hillary Clinton also a senator? Senator Clinton. So yeah, former police sergeant Leo Barnes is now head of security for Roan. That's the guy from the first movie. He was Frank Grillo's character. For
Well,
the
second movie.
second movie, that's right. The new founding fathers of America, NFFA, and their candidate, Minister Edwidge Owens, view Rowan as a threat, and for the first time since its inception, decided to revoke immunity for the government officials during the purge. Watching the senators' TV debate, our deli owner Joe Dixon, played by Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. His assistant Marcos Dali and EMT Lainey Rucker. A pair of teenage girls enter the store and begin stealing. That's these two of them, right? I forget which one's in the back. A pair of teenage girls enter the store and begin stealing, only to be stopped by Joe. The girls mock him until Lainey steps in, at which point they surrender their stolen goods and leave. They pretty much treat her like they they love her at first until they realize she's now, you know, a good guy, good person. Because apparently Lainey was going around, murdering people during Purge night or something.
Well, she was just a just not a great kid. I don't think that she was murdering people and stuff. Maybe she was, but I took it that she was just a kid off the street. You know, she would
Oh,
steal, she would do and the deli owner took, kind of took her under his wing in a way that the new guy is kind of taken under his wing, that it was but these girls that come in and steal the candy bar, um I'm torn on if Joe, is that the deli owner?
Joe, yeah.
If he should have just let her take it. I mean, it's one candy bar. I get it, but they probably wouldn't have come back. But I like how these are written that them coming back means that they definitely will not be coming back for the next purge if there is one.
Right.
So,
So Joe later discovers that his insurance premiums for Purge coverage. I like that. I like that they have the Purge coverage
see
and
that's advancing the universe is now somebody if you have Ethan Hawke going, okay, well, we're going to sell people security, which are the big metal doors that come down. Now somebody goes, you know what? Let's get purge insurance. And
Purge
of
insurance.
course, like all insurance companies do, oh, well, you're paying 200 this month. Well, now you're going to pay $5,000 this
And
month because
right
it's the
before
purge.
like the day before Purge
Yeah,
night.
completely done on purpose. Yeah.
Right. Um, so he discovers that it raised beyond his affordability. Meanwhile, more tourists visit the US to take part in the purge. That's also expanding the universe, making it where people are coming to America just to purge because in other countries, I guess they can't purge, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any purging in other countries.
Yeah,
So,
so it's
yeah.
purge tourism, which I think is an interesting, thing. And
Once again, expanding,
yep.
it's now that people and our government allows it so that it's perfectly fine for somebody for Russia or Germany or wherever they want. They could just come in. I mean, I don't know what they have to go through to do it. Maybe they just get a visa and they can come over and do it.
On purge night, Joe guards his store and is joined by Marcos. So Marcos comes over to help them out with guns and stuff. Together, they repel an attack by the teenage girls, which I guess that's skipping way ahead, but okay. I'm hoping that they explain some other stuff before then, but uh, it's the
Which
girls come
is,
in that car behind me. Um,
yeah, that's the picture of them. Yeah.
yeah, and
And I'm telling you, man, that one black girl with the kiss me on the mask, man, was she perfectly cast. She was friggin' evil. and that actress pulled it off really
Mhm.
well.
I hope
I
she got
mean,
I hope that girl got cast in other movies after this, like because she was good. Like I feel like she could use that in her like real, hey, I was this crazy ass bitch. Let me have another role for something else because I
yeah, and
guarantee.
she's got like the little Minnie Mouse hair on her, and she comes out saying, well, I just took care of my parents. Now I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
So that she's all covered in blood from that, and that's the thing. You just gotta wait. You may not like your parents. Maybe your parents are great people, and she just doesn't like them because she's nuts. All you gotta do is wait for that one night, and she could just take them right out, and it's perfectly fine. So that I think that's why there's not a lot of crime anymore. There's maybe the occasional robbery or something like that, but it's not much because people know, well, I don't like my mom, or I don't like my uncle, I don't like my boss. All I got to do is just wait till purge night and go kill him.
Okay. Lainey travels the city providing medical care to the wounded. Roan decides to wait out the purge from her home rather than a secure location in order to secure the vote, and is accompanied by Leo, Chief Cooper, Eric, and additional security forces. However, they are betrayed by Cooper and Eric, who allow a paramilitary force led by Earl Danziger. That's the Terry Serpico ball guy with the
Yeah,
tattoos on his head.
the white supremacist, yeah.
Yeah, to kill the security detail. Leo escorts the senator to safety, but is wounded in the process. He gets shot. But before we get to that, he basically finds out that there's all the people are dead, all security are dead. So he goes to the room to see Roan and Senator Roan and tells them that everything the security's been breached. We need to get you out of here. So he opens up a door, on the floor that he had made just for that occasion, just for that to happen. Which I'm wondering how nobody saw that. Like nobody saw that he was
Yeah.
making that at all. Like
I mean, unless when she was out of the house, he went to go
that's a lot of work.
do.
I mean,
Yeah, what if she just went, yeah, take me to a bunker?
I
Then
mean, I
they'd have
like
no
your
use for
idea
it.
that she was just in a what is it that you wanted to go and be in like a storage unit or something and just lock yourself in there and everything. I like that idea. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, and this is what I don't get is, if this is Night of the Living Dead, let's say, you wouldn't have people standing out around the house, so the zombies could see them to come in. You would go inside, and barricade yourself. And if they
Well,
were smart in that movie, they would turn off the lights and everything. In this, why are the guys standing around the house so everybody can see armed guys outside? They have all the lights on inside. One,
don't they
why
don't
doesn't
they
she
say
have
they're
the
gonna
metal piece?
leave for something, gonna go get something to eat or whatever, and then they get
They're
shot?
stand No, they're just standing outside.
No,
They're like
but
they're like the
they get
no
told to leave.
no
Like
Grillo says go watch TV.
oh,
And so
okay.
they go and they watch TV, but then there's the guys and he's checking in on the walkie-talkie, and they're outside guarding it. Like, why? Why would you do that? You would have the metal plates that come down, the doors and the windows, I would imagine. And then you would have people inside. I don't know why people don't turn off the lights. I would make it look like I was not home and just go hide in a closet or something. So to me, that was stupid. Like, why are these guys standing outside? Why are they not standing inside? Because they're just going to
Um,
get killed. Because anybody could just come by and shoot them.
yep.
It doesn't
Um,
have to be the white supremacist guys. It could just be anybody.
so apparently, Grillo's character Leo had rigged it up to have a bomb in that place in case I guess they needed it. So a bunch of the characters are in the room and they all get blown up. by he detonates the bomb, from outside, after being shot, you know, and everything. So all of them are blown up except for like I know Eric had walked out at that time, and a couple other people. So they're on the run. Leo and Aron attempt to seek shelter, but are ambushed by a group of Russian murder tourists and taken captive. Before they are executed, Joe and Marco shoot the gang dead. Now that was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Which is funny you say that because there is a deleted scene where Joe's like, he's looking down and he sees them getting attacked and he goes, "Fuck that, I'm staying up here."
And he's kind of convinced to go down there or
And then
something.
the young guy, Marco,
Marcos.
yeah, Marcos, he convinces him to go down.
Okay.
I don't like that. I'm glad they cut
I'm
that.
glad they kept that too.
None
Because
of the
it
delete,
makes Joe look like he's an asshole, so sort of, and he's really not.
no. And
He
probably
just kind of
people
wants to
said
mind his
that.
own business.
Well, and they probably did a test screening, and maybe people said that kind of makes him, like you just said, look like a dick.
Mm,
So they might have cut it. None of the deleted scenes needed to be in this movie.
yeah,
Unlike Anarchy, where the old woman and her assistant get mauled by the
yeah, they
dogs,
needed to be in it.
that
That needed to
needed
be
to
in
be
it.
in there. This, nothing needed to be in there. It was fine because this was almost 2 hours.
So
So
before
far,
they're,
it's the longest one.
yep. So as they take shelter in Joe's store, the teenage girls return with reinforcements. But I guess so. They show up, and that's the scene right here where they show up and they're pretty pretty ready to start killing. And and when they do that, they start just shooting like or whatever they want to get in that place. They start using chainsaws to try to get in and all that. And meanwhile they're all ready to like shoot them dead, but Joe calls Laney for reinforcements. Meanwhile Laney is out there like patching people up and helping them out. She gets the call, I guess, but we don't see her pick it up or check it out or anything. So the audience doesn't know she's coming, right? They think whatever. So she comes and runs everybody over.
Well, that's a great scene. And the reason, because you mentioned that these girls return, is they showed up at the beginning and then Marcos?
Yeah, Marcos.
Marcos is he's a good shot with a rifle. And he shoots the Kiss Me girl there, our lead bad girl, basically like it goes through her ear. And so she's like holding it and she's bleeding and she's like, "Oh, we'll be back." And
Did
then
that
that's when
pre-
they
that did that predict Trump?
Oh, maybe,
Interesting.
maybe. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so he shoots the ear or whatever. She gets like all, she's like, screw this, we'll be back. And she comes back with reinforcements, more guns, more people. They're ready to do some. She wants her candy bar. And I was laughing so hard at that because I was like, really? Like, you know?
She she's the paper boy from what was it? Better Off Dead? I want my $1. I want my $1. And he falls off the cliff. Them getting hit by like the medical van was great. The
Mm-hmm.
the
It made me
the
so
one
happy.
girl flies into the window, but then our evil girl, the Kiss Me girl on there, she's still alive and they just reverse over her and kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was saying later, earlier on, is why I think these are well written is everything that happens leads up to something else. So if Joe let her take the candy bar, she probably wouldn't have come back, but then she would have been out killing other people. By him, yeah, having her give the candy bar back and her showing up, um, they kill all of them, and now they can't go out and kill other people. So it kind of works itself out.
You keep calling her Kiss Me Girl or whatever, but her name in the movie is Kimmy.
Okay.
I don't think I ever say her name, you know.
No.
Um, but she's also schoolgirl number one, freak bride. That's what they call her on the
Well, yeah.
review.
So I'll show this because this is something. Well, first I'll show these. These are two masks that are from election year.
Nice.
They're working right now. There's three settings on them. And then this, yeah, the election year does end the three movie collection. So, which I think is its own little trilogy. So I got that, but I ordered this knowing that we would do this, and it's a Funko Pop for the Purge election year, and it's Lady Liberty,
Nice. That's
which
cool.
is the mask back
Yeah.
here, which I wish they would have done the colors. I don't mind it having the peppermint look, but on the back, there's five of them. So there's Lady Liberty, Freak Bride, there's your girl right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the bear, who's also with them. That's Big Pig. And I thought what says Big Pig? Maybe he's supposed to be a pig. I thought he was a bear. Betsy Ross, and then Waving God, which was from Anarchy. And
Nice.
I'm thinking somebody has on eBay all of these except this one. So it's like, ooh, I already own this one. They have a collection of the other four that I don't have.
How much
So I
was it?
thought it's not cheap.
That's what I
But
was thinking.
what you can do is, and I just discovered this and I just did it, is you can do if you want to buy something like let's say it's $100 and you don't want to pay $100, you can use this company that's through eBay and
Mm-hmm.
you make payments. So that's what I did. I actually found two Funko figures for Bad Boys, and I never knew these existed, but they were like $70. So I did my first payment. You do four payments, um, and I got them sent today, and I've only made one payment.
Hmm.
So over like a month, I pay it off. And that's what I'm thinking of doing with this, because I would like to get all the Purge Funko Pops, because she even has an axe with her. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's her. They have them all
Well,
separate too, but
yeah, I mean, the problem is this is like $33 or $34, something like that. I'm like, eh. And then if you get all four, yeah, it's like 120. Jesus Christ. It's a lot of money.
yeah, it just matters how much you want to be invested in this.
I
So
mean,
it's
if you
a
want all of them, then there you go. I don't care. I don't collect Funko, really.
no, you don't. But see,
I have a
I
couple, but I don't like seek them out, you know.
yeah, but
Though I did go to the Funko shop because you told me I have to go there if
oh
I'm
yeah,
in LA, or whatever. And I went there and I bought my nephew a Funko like mini or Mickey Mouse or whatever. But I was kind of upset because I was looking through it, but I could not find anything I was interested in, or whatever. So I didn't get anything for me, but maybe I'll go there again next year because during my birthday, just pick up something, you know.
yeah. I mean, I picked up a couple things while I was there, and then I picked up some stuff at Amoeba Records too, some Funko Pops. So it's
Yeah, I think I told you that story that I went there. So I had to use the restroom, and I don't know if you know anything about that area, but like there are really no public restrooms, and the only place that allowed it, you had to buy something just to go into the restroom. And so I had to buy like a coffee.
yeah.
No, I had to buy water. I bought a water and like a big thing of water, you know? And then I went into the Funko thing because it was right next to where I went to the bathroom. Went to the Funko, hung out there, got the Funko, came back, and I was like, "Oh, just check out Amoeba Records." As I got there, the guy was like, "Oh, you got to give that to me," and I thought he meant the water because I thought maybe they meant that like you could spill water on the stuff, so no food or drinks are allowed. And so I got very confused. And eventually he was like, not the water, the Funko. And I go, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, we sell Funkos here as well. So you can't bring a Funko in because it might get very, you might try to put it in your bag and say you already took it or something.
Well, that's funny because I went to the Funko store first and I got one of their big bags that say Funko, and I bought maybe two or three Funko Pops that were in the bag, and they put up some other stuff in there. And I went into Zia, and they didn't have a problem with it, but not Zia, to Amoeba.
Yeah.
And what they did have a problem was, and I didn't even realize I did this, because security came up to me, and I'm looking at the Funko Pops, and I don't, because I have movies and stuff in my hands too, is I'm taking the Funko Pop and I'm putting it inside the bag just to put it there. And then I
Mhm.
would put, because I bought all the Mad Max, like the Road Warrior figures and stuff, because they were really cheap. And a woman comes up, security,
Uh,
and she goes, "Why are you putting those in the bag?" And I went, "Oh, because I don't have, my hands are all full of movies and other stuff, so I'm setting them in the bag, just so, they don't get all messed up." And she goes, "Well, look," she goes, "I know you're not doing this on purpose because I've been watching you. But you don't put them in the bag. Just take them out of the bag. Don't put anything in the bag."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize." And so I was not accused of anything because I guess it really did look like, "Oh, I'm just putting it in there to be, because I just don't have room in my hands."
Yeah.
But
They
but
didn't, they
they
just made me keep it like they had some guy over on the side that took
there's a
my
whole
bag.
area that you can put stuff in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
that's
they
that's
they
where you
they
get
took
them.
my bag and I was like, that's fine. I'll just get it. Like they gave me like a tag or something
Yeah,
to
you get it's like a
ticket,
number or something.
like a little
Yeah.
ticket. And so
So
I gave him a bag and then I got my bag back. I didn't get any, Funkos there. I got DVD or DVDs and stuff. So whatever. Anyway,
yeah.
moving on. We're gonna continue this. So, um, okay. So hold on. Where were we?
She got hit by a truck, by the van. Your girl.
Yeah. So yes. So girls return with reinforcements, but are rescued by Lainey, who kills the girls. So she runs the girls over. The group is then ambushed by Danziger in a helicopter. Oh, well, I guess they get into Lainey's car. They argue they bicker for a bit, and they decide to go into the car, right?
The
The
van,
van or whatever.
the medical van, yeah.
Yeah, the medical van, and they decide to get in there because um, were they originally planning to go to the triage? That's what it's called.
Well, they have excuse me. There's the two women, Lainey and somebody else, are in the van. They're taking care of a black guy who's like a gang member who got shot, and he's handcuffed inside there, because she doesn't want him to go back out and fight. So there's
Yeah.
three of them in the van,
But then
and
later, there's
then
only one. It's only Lainey after that, right? When she comes and runs over the girls and then gets everybody in, I don't think there's two other people. I think it's just Lainey. I think she dropped them off at the triage and then went to help them.
no, because the unless Charlie gets into the truck again, the van again, because the black guy has no idea who she is.
Oh, that's right.
He keeps
You're right.
saying, "Who is this woman?"
Okay, you're
So
right.
I think they killed the girls, the freak bride and her friends, because what we don't find out is they're coming through the front of the deli, but there's people coming through the back.
Okay.
And Joe is saying, "No, I'm going to stay and defend the store." And they convince him to leave. So it's the two deli people, Grillo and the Charlie, and then the two women who are in the van that are running the medical thing, and the black guy.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, then they're getting shot by the helicopter. They hide under a bridge.
Yeah, because the group is then ambushed by Danziger in a helicopter because he can hear apparently everybody's stuff. Plus, they have a trace bullet on the which I thought was a pretty neat thing. I don't know if that's a real
On
thing that
Grillo.
somebody can
Yeah.
do, but they were able to trace where the bullet is and stuff that was it lodged in Leo. Um, so. And okay, and seeks so the group is ambushed by Danziger in a helicopter and seeks refuge in an overpass where Leo realizes they were tracked by the bullet lodged inside him and manages to extract it as they are met by the Crips. You know, so what they don't mention here is the guy Joe. I guess was it Joe or was it the others? I think somebody knew maybe it was the other black guy,
Oh no, it was Joe knew the whistle.
the
And
whistle for the
and
grip.
yeah, because I guess he used to be one or something like that. So he knew the whistle. So once he did that, you could hear the guys outside, the Crips being like, "Hey, I know that whistle. Hey, 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 calm down. Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey."
So they come in and they open up the thing and they say, we're gonna we're not gonna hurt you. We need you to take our guy to the triage because he got hurt. And they said, okay, sure. So they took a guy from the crypts, but he goes, but if you do that, if we do this for you, you have to do something for us, right? And so Um, in exchange for the group rendering medical aid to an injured Crips member's son, the gang plants the bullet elsewhere to divert the paramilitary team. Meanwhile, it does not mention this, but like they basically put the bullet so that this paramilitary team came in, saw it, and then the Crips came in and took care of the paramilitary team guys. The group arrives at an underground anti-purge hideout run by Dante Bishop. Dante Bishop, once again, is the guy from
Bloody
the Bloody
Stranger.
Stranger from the first two movies. Leo discovers that Dante's groups intends to assassinate Owens to end the purge. A large group of paramilitary personnel arrive at the hideout looking for Dante. Leo and Roan escape back to the streets and meet up. Well, okay, so we didn't mention this, I guess, because it's not in this, but Joe, Marcus, and Laney had decided to leave so that they could bring them back to the deli because he still wants to protect his deli. So they go to leave, and so they sneak out the back way to go meet up with Joe, Marcus, and Laney in the triage van, thing. Um, and yeah, so they tried to return to Joe's store, got called back to help them out and stuff. So while fleeing the city, the ambulance, well, the triage van or whatever the ambulance, whatever you want to call it, is hit by Danziger's team, and Roan is pulled out before Leo can assist. So we didn't mention it before, they wanted Senator Roan alive, you know. They want her to be alive so that they can torture and kill her, or whatever themselves, part of the purge. Um
I
so
forget how did that. So if Lainey, Joe, and the kid, if they're going back to the deli so he could defend it, which is it's got to be destroyed because those people came in through the back. Um, I'm guessing that they were still alive. How did Grillo and she and Charlie get into the van? Because the three, Laney and them, go through a door to leave, and Grillo sees them.
right.
And then he sees people going into some like office.
Mhm.
And he eventually gets into the office. Charlie gets into the office and they realize that th that this that the resistance is going to go kill the preacher, and they have it all mapped out. It's all worked out. They got it. It's going to be done. And Charlie doesn't want them to do it because then the preacher guy will be a martyr, and she doesn't want to get elected on him because of his death. She wants to do it legitimately. How then, how did they get into the van? I forget. Because the van gets T-boned, it goes to the side, and she's pulled out, Charlie is, and taken to the church
Hmm.
where all the new founding fathers are and the priests and all that are. Did Grillo and Charlie also get into the van with
Yes.
Laney?
So they went to pick them up. Remember, like the people called them up to help them to go get them, and they get out. They sneak out the back because the people are coming in. So they tell them, get out the back. There's a back way or whatever, and meet. Yeah, and they say to meet at this certain spot or whatever. And so they go over to meet at this spot. But meanwhile, there are people, out trying to kill people and, attack, like they have to get through a few people. I was trying to think of what exactly happened. I know they did get into the car. They eventually got into the van, the ambulance or whatever, and then started driving away. Um, there was another attack right before then. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Well, the white supremacists they do break into. They do find it because they want to the resistance wants to make like we got to get the wounded out of here. Um so the white supremacists do go in there. Um
Right.
Bloody Stranger and his part of the resistance
Are
are
going to
all
the one
they're
place.
already at the place. They're
Yeah.
already at the church.
They're on their way
And
to the church or whatever.
yeah, and Grillo finds them and says we got to go
That's
rescue her.
Yeah, that's after she gets kidnapped. And so she gets kidnapped when the ambulance and the cars collide and then the ambulance falls on its side or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then she gets like yanked out somehow. I don't know how exactly, but it's all of a sudden she's just pulled out, of the car, of the ambulance and taken away and kidnapped. But before then, I was trying to remember. I know they had some like attacking people attacking them, and then did the people in the van just start shooting people because there was something some way before they got to the van, like, or whatever they had to go through. Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I very confusing?
Well, I think you're talking about when the white supremacists break, they find the medical place.
No, I'm trying to think of like, never mind, never mind. So anyway, let's just get back to this because this seems to be somewhat, understandable. While fleeing the city, the ambulance is hit by Danziger's team, and Roan is pulled out before Leo can assist. He leads the group and Dante's team to a fortified cathedral where the NFFA plans to sacrifice her. So they knew that was probably going to happen, you know. Um, Before Roan can be killed by the NFFA, the group arrives and causes. Okay, well, Jesus Christ, this does skip like a lot. I guess they don't want to put everything that happens like we are kind of going through. Um,
Yeah, in the cathedral, this church, it's all white people. They
but
look very conservative. They're doing the chant that you do, new founding fathers, we love, they do the whole thing
Nation
that we
Reborn.
yeah, and they do wheel out a guy, and this person who's quite nutty stabs him a whole bunch of times. So we're gonna kind of get the idea of what's gonna happen to Charlie, and then she's wheeled out because they're on like some like a
Gurney.
gurney,
Yeah.
yeah, but they're up like that, not flat. And right before she's about to get killed is that's when the
Right.
resistance comes in
But
and just
even
starts gunning everybody down.
before then, um, Leo and his team, Joe and everybody like that, are walk up and then he goes up and talks to Dante and their people and says, we can't have you killing them right now. We need you to, this is a rescue mission, not, assassination, or whatever. This needs to be an rescue mission to get her. So they all agree to do that and they get in and they see what's going on. And right before she's about to be killed by some guy, they start shooting everybody. So it was kind of like
Yeah, because he
last
starts to
minute almost.
cut
Yeah, it
her
looked like he
neck.
cut her neck. Like, I don't
He
know, man.
did. He did. She'll probably have a scar from that. So if we ever see her again, she should have a scar on her neck.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see her again, or when I don't know if she's ever in any other ones, but guessing not. Um. So yes. Uh, before Rowan can be killed by the NFFA, the group arrives and causes a massive shootout that kills the congregation except Owens and NFFA loyalist Harmon James, who both escape. Owens is caught by Dante's group, who still intend to kill him, but Roan, determined to beat him in this election, is able to persuade them not to. Because the whole time she's saying, "Don't kill him. He's going to be a martyr. Don't kill him. We can't have this happen because then I'm not going to win. For real. I'm going to win because everybody's going to claim that you won because the other guy got killed. If nobody dies, you know." then there are no martyrs. And the other team doesn't seem to care. The other group doesn't seem to care. Um, Owens is hold on. Owens
Well,
is
yeah,
caught by
because
Dante.
oh, go on.
What? I was just gonna say Owens is caught by Dante's group. Stealing. Okay, Rona is able to persuade them not to. The remaining paramilitary forces arrive, killing Dante and his men. So Dante ends up dying, and they end up he ends up going around like he goes like car to car, he's trying to get into one of the cars to like drive into people and everything. And then I think it's Danziger comes in and kills him, shoots him, if I'm correct, right? The bad guy shoots him, shoots Dante and kills him.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so
I mean, I know a lot of them die. Joe dies.
Dante died.
Did Joe not die? Am I getting people confused?
Dante Bishop is the bloody stranger. He dies.
Right. And Joe does die. Yeah, so Joe does die.
Yeah,
He gets shot because then he gives the shop over to the kid
yeah. So
because of Prentice.
Danziger fights Leo, wherein the latter gains the upper hand. That's Leo. Gets so he wins, I think. Leo defeats Danziger, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They have a fight and
They have like a
Danzig,
hand-to-hand fight after.
yeah, just kind of throws him around at first, but then Leo gets the I think he's got his little knife in his hand and yeah, it gets him a few times, even
Yeah.
though has all this military stuff on him, he still hits him in the areas that where it's not protected. And so
Yep.
he dies. So
As Rowan's groups freeze Owens, as God, everything's this rhymes. As Rowan's group frees Owens' victims, James emerges from hiding and kills one of the victims, but is shot by Joe in a crossfire, who later succumbs to his injuries. So, and yes, as Joe dies, or is about to die, he gives his, store over to Marcos. Um, and then it cuts or fades or whatever to 2 months later. Marcos and Laney renovate Joe's store as they watch a TV announcement declaring Rowan's landslide victory. Another news report states that the violent uprising across the country are being carried out by NFAA supporters in response to the election results, which she does say she is going to get rid of her first executive orders to get rid of the thing, which is funny because if she loses the next election, somebody could just be like, "Hey, let's bring back the purge," you know.
Oh, totally. But whatever a president does, the next president can just remove it. Just
It's the silliest thing, like sometimes because like that's what it's almost like, hey, I take back, take backsies,
well,
like,
and I think sometimes it's petty because when Trump came into office, one of the things he did was to basically remove everything that Obama did.
mm. And
So
then Joe Biden got in there and he started removing things that Trump did, and then Trump came in again and started removing things that Biden did, and it's like, oh Lord, I mean, I'm
well, that's why you need those two terms because you can't get all this stuff done in one term. It's just like, okay, well, we're going to do this. It's my first term, and then if you don't win, it's like, oh well, okay, we were planning on doing
yep,
that on the second term.
yep. Well, now I have to go do it again and try to get my second term. Or if you're Trump, you're going to try to get a third term,
Hey, they
which
tried it with Obama. I
I
was
mean,
going to vote for him. They actually said, "Can we get Obama in here to do a third term?" And there was going to be like a petition or something, and I would have voted for
it's
him at that
really
time.
difficult to get a third term. Like you really have to. You have to get so many people from the Congress, and then I think the Senate has to agree. Like there's a, it's such a pain in the ass. I don't think anybody will ever, that'll ever happen. Because then what's to say if you say third term, what's to say some years later, let's make sure we can get a fourth term for somebody. Like, I mean, or if they just have it where it doesn't matter how many terms, like anybody can run for as many terms as they want, you know? That would honestly, that would be the thing I would think instead of getting a third term, that you would just do that. Because after a while, it just, but that's the thing. The people would have to vote for that person for like the next term, you know? And if they don't, you know, whatever, right? I guess it's got to be fair, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It has to be fair. And I think the two-term voting is fair. Like, I would not want the same guy to be president for 20 years, you know? Like that would drive me nuts, I think, you know? And
Yeah.
people wouldn't want that. I mean, I think and I also think it's fair to sometimes switch it. I mean, I like it when things get switched up a little bit, you know? That's me personally.
Well, normally it always goes like Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. So
Right. Well, I'm
it's
not saying that there's gonna be an independent third party, but people have been wanting that, sort of a mixture of right and left, you know?
well, that's the thing. If you've ever watched The West Wing, Martin Sheen's president is a Democrat Christian. So they got both the conservatives and the Democrats in there. That whenever he does something that a Democrat would do, he then fights with it because it's not Christian or something. So they basically played it safe by making him a little bit of both. So I just saw something on Wikipedia where it says in 2017, the film's tagline, "Keep America Great," received attention from the internet and media when it was made the slogan used by Donald Trump for his 2020 reelection campaign.
Hmm.
So see that's what I'm thinking, these films are either came before or after, but they predicted and it seems like the campaigns use things from the films, but then the films kind of predicted stuff. So it's I kind of want to because it's not going to I guess so from here from election year it would then go into the forever purge. And I forget if they mention anything about the ending of election year, where they're saying like there's like an uprising,
I don't know. I've not seen it yet.
because they would have to stop it and then have another purge happen.
Our next one will be this one.
Yes.
And then, well, and then we do this one, the TV series.
Yes.
Then we do this one, the
Yes.
Forever Purge. So, um, I'm kind of excited to see those and stuff. Like, I'm just excited to finish this, series or whatever. I think it's kind of a fun series, Like it's
Oh, I like it. It's just it seems to get more political as we go on
hmm
with kind of like the creators of this. You definitely know what side they're on because with the first purge, they started in a black community.
hmm
So which kind of reminds me of the speech that Lawrence Fishburne gives, in Boys in the Hood, where he's like, you see on this corner, it's a like a gun store, and then on this corner over here, it's like an alcohol store, and that's set up on purpose. So then we end up getting drunk, we being black people, end up getting drunk, and then we buy a gun, and then we start shooting each other. So that's kind of what the first purge reminds me of is that speech that he gives in there is and guaranteed, and I don't remember a lot of the first purge, guaranteed there's not going to be a black guy in that room going, "Hey, we need to start this in the ghetto and see what happens." It's probably going to be all white people in there.
Okay. I'm excited to see it. I'm I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about it except I did look up like why did James DeMonaco stop directing them, and everything. And really it was because he just got tired of it. He had said he's been said before that doing the first three was very draining because you did them like back to back, and there was a lot of it takes about a year to direct, to get everything directed and then also get it, put together and stuff. So it's a lot of time in your life, and it kind of reminds me of like when they did the first three Spider-Man movies that with Tom Holland, the same director did it, you know, but we're getting the new one that's not going to be the same director because that guy went on. I don't know what that guy's doing. The director of Spider-Man, because like Spider-Man No Way Home and things like that. What is he doing? Because that's John Watts. Oh, he did Fantastic Four. So he went on from that to go into another movie, but I don't think they're doing another Fantastic Four for a while. I don't think I think it kind of bombed, you know, enough where they're just like, well, we'll keep them in, you know, the Avengers stuff, but we're not gonna make a new Fantastic Four yet, you know. And I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
he
yeah,
if,
not for a while, yeah.
I don't know if he'll be directed. The John Watts will be directing that one, the next one that they do.
Everything comic book is up in the air.
Yeah.
So it's all up in the air, especially since they just had the CEO of Netflix in front of Congress admitting that Superman bombed. So as
Hmm.
I'm sure James Gunn is probably going like, fuck.
Yeah, he probably is not happy with that.
No, because the CEO gave an example because they were, I don't think it was Josh Hawley, it was a different guy, but he's like, well, how committed are you to this? Um, like, what is it, 24 days that it would play in the theater? And he goes, well, you know, it's set at 24, but if a movie doesn't do as well, like Superman, it leaves earlier. If the movie does well, like Sinners, it stays around for a while.
Yep.
And everybody's like, oh crap, he just threw Superman under the bus. So it's like, okay, and then of course, if the secret, if the Avengers movies don't do well,
Well, if they don't
then,
do well, I mean, the Marvel screwed, because they're kind of putting all their eggs in that one basket. Um,
well, and they're dividing the second one into two parts.
I wonder if the new Spider-Man looks pretty cool. Like, but they haven't even shown a trailer yet, and this is the thing. Marvel used to, I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to put the trailers out 6 months ahead of time, at least like a teaser to get everybody excited. And they haven't done that yet. And people are kind of freaking out going, it's coming out in June. Like we need a trailer out now to get people hyped up, you know?
Well, they didn't have a trailer in the Super Bowl. This is like the first time in like a decade that they haven't done that.
I don't know what's going on. I think there's just too much going on there, maybe, you know? And stuff. And there might also be issues because what's his name? Bob Iger is stepping down, and I don't know they haven't announced who's filling his shoes yet.
Oh, they have. Yeah.
Oh, who?
I don't know his name, but he's handpicked by Bob Iger. They just had an interview with him.
Oh, okay.
And
I did not.
it's the same thing like with Kathleen Kennedy, the new CEO is the same as the same, as a
Well,
new CEO,
it's
no
like
different than the old one. So
isn't the Kathleen Kennedy picked Filoni, right?
Filoni and a chick. So Dave Filoni he is the film and kind of TV side, and this girl, they're co's. She's part of marketing and money and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, she's
And
doing all
then
the uncreative part, the business
right.
side of
So
it.
basically, both of them have kind of been doing this anyways, but it's all been under Kathleen Kennedy. So
Yeah.
they've actually said that these two people have been making, especially Filoni, have been making these decisions for years, and Kathleen Kennedy is just kind of the figurehead, like the queen, just waving to people. And then this guy who takes over for Bob Iger is just another Bob Iger. So it's just nothing's going to change. It's going to be exactly
I
the
thought
same.
they were gonna have Kevin take over for one of them. I thought he was gonna go to Star Wars because he likes Star Wars more than Marvel anyway. But whatever. Anywho, moving on to finish this up.
Stay on
Um,
target.
I guess you're gonna do what the box office is, and I'm gonna talk about after that how well it did. Like what was it the what other movies came out that time.
Well, let's all remember Michael Bay is one of the producers on these, so
I know you love that.
I always have to put that out there. So,
I know because
um,
you love your Michael Bay.
I do. I just got my Bad Boys Funko Pops. Yes, I'm very happy.
Yay.
What I want to do is, oh, okay. So I kind of want to go back and then forward. So, The
Okay.
Purge was a $3 million budget and it made 89 million.
Nice.
Anarchy, $9 million budget and it made 111 million. So election year is 10 million and it made even more money. It made 118.
Nice.
So that did quite well. And it is still not the one that made the most money. So, but
No.
it's yeah, I guess it did get mixed reviews from critics. but became the highest grossing film of the series so far. So that's good.
Alright. That's awesome. So on Friday, July 1st, 2016 was when that's pretty much when it came out. Um, it was the first movie up was Purge election year. That was that made 14,513,360 dollars. So that was the highest one that day. The Legend of Tarzan was number two.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't think anybody actually watched that.
And that was 14,000 or 14 million as well. So, number three was Finding Dory with 13 million.
With Mean Ellen.
Yeah. Number four was the BFG.
Oh,
Number
big fucking giant.
big fucking giant. Yeah. And then number five was Independence Day 2 Resurgence.
Oh my God. I'm surprised that was even in the top five. Okay.
Number six is Central Intelligence. That's the Rock and Kevin Hart movie.
Oh God. Okay.
Seven is The Shallows.
Oh, the shark movie. Okay.
Yep. And number eight is Conjuring 2. Number nine is Free State of Jones. I never heard of that one. You heard
I
of
have
that
heard of
one?
that. Yeah. Well,
Oh, I know.
Conjuring 2, how long had that been out for? Because I would imagine that would have been number one when it first came out.
So that was in its fifth week.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, it only made like $1 million. A million two. So yeah, so Free State of Jones. Number 10 is Now You See Me Too, which I've always liked that title because it sounds like Now You See Me Too. You also see me, you know.
Ah, okay.
They should have done TOO, but you know, whatever. They just did the number two. Um, Number 11 is Swiss Army Man that was in its 25th week. Speaking of how long movies used to used to be out,
It's Army Man. Okay. Never heard of it. All right.
Swiss Army Man, it is the weird A24 movie where uh somebody it was two actors. It was like I know it was Daniel Radcliffe and who's the other one? Yeah, it's Paul Dano, who's Quentin Tarantino's favorite actor right now.
Yeah,
Paul
yeah.
Dano.
I don't know what his problem is with him, but
I
okay.
don't know. I think what the whole conversation was that he liked Daniel Day Lewis a lot better than Paul Dano in that
Well,
movie that they did. There Will Be Blood.
what I heard is that Tarantino wanted him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Dano said no. He turned it down.
So ever
So,
since that, he's been bitter.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
Tarantino just seems to maybe be just getting old and grumpy. So,
well,
maybe he's like yelling at clouds or something.
Swiss Army Man stars Paul Dano as this guy who basically says a hopeless man stranded on a deserted island befriends a dead body, and together they go on a surreal journey to get home. So it's
Oh, so
like,
it's like Weekend at Bernie's 3.
well, no, it's like it's really weird. He uses them as a Swiss Army knife. Like you know how you put your hands up and do things, and it's just weird. So
Okay.
calls him a Swiss Army Man, I guess. I don't. I have not seen it, but it looks really weird.
Okay.
Another movie I've never heard of is called Our Kind of Traitor. I don't know if you know that one.
No, don't know that
Um,
one.
it looks like it's got a big cast though, like Stellan Skarsgård and Damian Lewis, um, something Harris. I don't know. Something Harris. I don't know. Anyway, Me Before You is number 13. Number 14 is X-Men Apocalypse. And that was an 11th week. And number 15 is your boy, Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Okay.
Number 16 is Captain America Civil War in its 14th week. 17 is The Jungle Book. the I guess the Disney remake,
Yeah.
live action. That was 13 weeks in. Warcraft is number 18 and 12 weeks in. And number 19 is Alice Through the Looking Glass. Also, I guess isn't that also Disney? Yeah, that's a Disney one. And number 20, and that's all I'm gonna do because is Love and Friendship, and that's number that was 16 weeks in. So that's a pretty good amount of movies that and I have 44 that they have listed. And I'm like, I'm not gonna go through all 44 like we did last week, last time. We went through the
20 is good.
yeah, 20 is enough. But it just goes to show you because each one it goes starts to get lower and lower. And on the 20th, the amount of money they made is like $105,000, in that thing. So by the end of it, by the 44th, they only made 37 bucks on a movie called Almost Holy that was in its 45th week.
Hmm.
So, yeah. But I don't know. It was 40 what was how many weeks? 45th week? Jesus Christ. It's a lot. I mean, look, I like movies being able to stay in the theater, but I totally get it because, like, theaters only have a good number of screens, right? They only have like 12 screens or something generally, or maybe less, maybe 10 screens. I don't know how many your local theater has, or whatever, but it doesn't have like, so many. So, like, they have to do enough. And then if there's a lot of movies coming out, they have to make room, you know, and everything and whatnot. So I totally get getting rid of some and not having them stay for 45 weeks. So when that drive theaters nuts, hey, we have to keep this for 45 weeks?
If that's the deal that they made, you know. I remember, to bring Tom Cruise up, Top Gun, when it played at the cinema, it played until there was only one person coming to see it. So it played for like probably almost a year at that theater. And that's
Probably.
the theater that's owned by like George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola. So it was like the best picture, the best sound. And they just kept playing Top Gun. It just kept going until, yeah, there's only one guy coming in. So it's like time to pull it.
Well, movies are pretty hurting right now. I'm not gonna lie, like I have my Regal app here and I can tell you what's shoot. Well, let me go to tomorrow. Iron Lung um is still playing, right? And like nobody right now, like if you look at that right there, that's all like nobody, there's nobody who taken any seats for Iron Lung at 1 something o'clock. And I'm guessing, yeah, it's gonna be gone. Oh, there's no, two seats. Two seats there. Can you see that? Like the two seats right
Yeah.
there. That's it. For the 7:50 tomorrow. And so like it's still in the theaters, which is surprising because like that was made by some YouTuber from what I remember.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's any good or not, but it really didn't interest me much. I might watch it streaming someday somewhere, but yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's like who is this guy? Mark Fishbach? He was a YouTuber named Markiplier.
I don't know who he is. I have
But
no
you know
idea.
he was a YouTuber. You heard that, right?
Yeah, because it's getting like the same type of press as Chris Stuckman. So
But it's doing better. It's doing way better than Chris Stuckman is doing. You know, as far as like it's made a lot of money back in the theater. You know, but no, whatever.
no.
Anyway, moving on.
So we
Um,
need to rate
rate it.
this.
Yes, let's rate it. Um, it's tough, man, because I have not seen the other films or anything. But
Well, I think ratings can change. I mean, that's
I'm just gonna say 4.5. What did I say? I think I said, did I say 4 at the last one or 4.5? the last one.
I think you really liked it, so probably 4.5.
I like this one better though, but I don't know. I don't think I can give it a five. I don't think I'm ever going to give any of these a five. I think 4.5 is the best you're going to get. So yeah, I'm going to go with 4.5.
I would say, and I don't remember really my reviews on the other two, but I think if The Purge is a 4, this would then Anarchy would probably be like a 4.5. This I think would be a 4.5 too.
Hmm.
But I think it's since it I think as we go through our opinions can change. So
Yeah.
the all of a sudden maybe Anarchy is no longer a 4, it's now maybe it's a or no longer like a 4.5. It could be like a 4 or even a 3.5 if something is much better.
We have talked we have talked about uh like on Indie Film Cafe having like a thing where we go back and we back at our old scores, our stinkometer scores, and see if we've kind of changed our mind, you know, about the movies or whatever, because like especially early on during like the first couple seasons, our rating system is different than how we rate things now, you know? Like I've seen a lot more stinkier films than some of the ones that I voted high on the stinkometer, you know? I'd be like, oh, that's probably a 6 on the stinkometer, not an 8, you know?
Right.
I'm sure you would give, that one that we tease you on like a 10 now. Like you said, you give it a 5 and everything because you were trying to say it went back all the way around or whatever, but then it went to a 5 and we're like, "What?" Like that means you liked it? Like and yeah, you got very confused with the stinkometer in the beginning and everything.
Yeah,
So,
it would probably be like a 9 now if I
yeah,
rewatched
well, it
it.
should be a 10, man. That movie was awful. He did that on purpose because we had those alien beasts, and I had just done Alien Prophecy, and that got people going, oh, well, I kind of liked this part of it and that part of it or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, it was so bad. How can you have liked this movie? This was a 10, you know? And I didn't say that to them, but that's what I was like thinking. And then so I was like, this should have been a 30. Even Paul watched it and said this should have been a 30. Like there's no doubt about that. So then he was like, you know what? I'll give John Ward something that there's no way he can not give this a 30. And you surprised us.
Oops.
Oops. But it's okay. I'm sure we've seen worse. I mean, we know a filmmaker, a specific filmmaker that does a lot worse movies than you know, most people make, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, I I I once again I love being on the streets because once again it reminds me of like was it Escape from New York and things like that where you just don't know what's going to happen next when you first start watching, you know? You don't know if something's going to jump out at you or grab you or what's going to happen. And it puts you on keeps you on your toes.
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the outside stuff.
Yeah. But when you're inside, you feel confined and constricted, and I don't like it as much. Even though when you're inside, it can still feel like that because like somebody could be turning a corner that you don't know if somebody's going to be like on the a corner and meet you in the middle somewhere, and stuff. And if that happens, they could stab you or shoot you or something. That's another thing about these movies. Guns. Guns to me are scarier than knives, you know, because anybody could shoot you from like a rooftop or somebody could shoot you from a bush and you wouldn't know. But somebody has to literally get up behind you and slit your throat with a knife, you know? So it to me, guns are scarier than knives or machetes. You know, if Jason had a gun, all those campers would be fucked. You know what I mean?
Hey, you just stand behind a tree and just shoot everybody.
Right. To me, is that scarier? Because you don't know where he is. He could pop up and just shoot you. You know,
Sure.
that's probably why they don't give him a gun. You know,
He might turn it on himself and just shoot himself in the head by mistake. He'd be like, "Oh."
and then nothing happens because he can only die by water. A water gun. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like
one of those big soakers.
I'm drowned. Why hasn't anybody ever shot him with a water gun? Drowned him with a water gun. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the funniest thing, because what is it? Freddy is fire, you know, and Jason is water. I think
Which is kind of dumb, but all right, I guess.
it is what it is. All right, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this little silly talk and everything. I don't know how it sounds through here, so I'm hoping it sounds good. I am not using my normal equipment for right now, but I
Voice sounds
will.
fine to me, so
Well, that's good.
yeah.
Hopefully, it sounds good to you guys too. You know. All right. We will be back in 2 weeks when we're going to be doing the Purge, the first Purge.
First Purge.
Um,
Yep.
get ready for that. So that should be fun. So until then, everybody, have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.